Hey guys, I am live on Facebook. I hope you're well today. It's a little bit cooler than usual, so I've got my sweatshirt on and I'm with little Sebastian just here having a little wander around in the field. And today I would like to talk to you about the reason as to why you may be keeping your issue. And you might be thinking, well, Joseph, there should be no reason why I'm keeping anxiety or a fear or phobia or panic attacks or literally fill in the blank, whatever it may be. Why would I want to keep a behavior or an issue or a limiting belief or some negative emotion? Why would I want to keep it? So that's really what I'm going to be talking about today, and I promise you it won't be pushing up against your values, because I'm not saying that you're the reason as to why you're keeping it. I'm actually coming at it at a different angle, and I think you're going to really appreciate it because it's going to really help you make changes. So, hey Nikki, great to have you on. Who else is on here today? If you'd like to leave a comment, it's always nice to know who I'm speaking to make sure that this is something that you want to actually keep happening, or keep me doing these videos, because the more people say, hey, yes, I like these videos, I'm from Australia. I had some people from Australia yesterday, we have some people from England, from America, from I think Mexico as well, so it'd be great to know who you are and where you're coming from. So I might get this completely wrong, but hey Kamiko, I hope you're absolutely fine today. I am actually in Austin, Texas, and as I said, it's a little bit cooler, but I think we should probably get into the subject as to why you may be keeping an issue. Yes, this is really live now, Jessica. Great to have you. Hey, Tonya. Hey, Shannon. My name is not Jason, though. It's Joseph. Maybe a bit of a spelling error there. Live now, Jessica. Yes, live now. Hey, Aaron. Great to have you. From Northern Ireland. From Oklahoma, as Timmy is. We got Martin from the Netherlands. Great to have you. I was in Amsterdam a few years ago and it was great. So great to have you all on here. So thank you for commenting and letting me know that this is something of value to you. As I said, I'm going to keep on doing these live. Usually doing about 4 a week at the moment, depending on my week, but usually at least 3. And today we're going to be talking to you about the reason why you keep your issue. And here's the thing. So when it comes to issues, I'm not saying why you personally would keep an issue. Because if you're going to be saying, well, Joseph, I would never want to keep depression. No, I would never want to have a fear or a phobia. I'd never want to have fill in the blank. And I appreciate that. However, there's a deeper part of you which thinks you should keep that issue. And once we get clear on this, you will completely begin to change how you experience your issue. You'll be able to completely have a new perception on your issue, and it's really a game changer. It might not let go of the whole issue, but it's definitely a first step in making changes. So let's go for it then. So the reason why we keep our issues in life, and I'll give you a few of my examples and a few other people's examples, is that your unconscious mind is keeping it because it thinks it's a good thing. So let me explain, let me make it really clear for you, so I'm not trying to sound crazy by saying why would depression or why would anxiety be something I want to keep at an unconscious level. So here's the thing, right? When I was young, I was very shy. I used to be blush all the time. I was anxious all the time. And I was just a very shy young man, and one of the reasons behind it was that when I was, must have been 11 years old, and it was just before I went to secondary school. So in England we have a primary school and then a secondary school. So from year 12 to 16 is our secondary, and I was as an 11-year-old, I was just about to go into the next stage, so in a whole new school, because I got to that level in age. Now, my teacher made me stand up in front of everyone to answer a mathematic question. And I wasn't very good at maths back then, and I was still pretty shy. But when she made me stand up, I just froze. I didn't know what The answer was, I definitely did not like the attention on me. I did not like anything about that situation, and I just didn't know what to do. So I started blushing, getting anxious and worried, and it just was a horrible experience. And then my teacher said the most beautiful, most wonderful words of, Joseph, if you don't learn this, you're never going to progress to secondary school. So not only was I completely in a blushing state of mind, not only was I in a this fight or flight response around all my best friends and colleagues at school, my peers. Now my teacher made this judgment, which then made me think, oh, wow, I don't like being in front of people, and now I don't really think I'm going to do very well at school. And evidently, it was kind of right, I didn't do very well at school, but maybe that's because maybe she said that and kind of hypnotized me in that intense state. So in that moment where someone told me that, my teacher told me that, and I had all that stress and worry and that blushing and everything about it, my unconscious mind made a decision that every time I'm in a situation similar to that, so therefore, if it's important, if I'm in front of people, or if I'm the center of attention, to try to get me out of that situation. What's the best way that my unconscious mind would actually be able to get me out of that situation? Where it makes me anxious, makes me panic, it makes me worried, it makes me blush. It's like the signals from my unconscious mind telling me that I don't want to be there. So my unconscious mind came up with that behavior of blushing and worrying and all those things to keep me safe, ironically. Can you see that in your mind? So I went through a very stressful situation, and because of that stress, my body told me, or made a decision at an unconscious level, that every future situation similar to this, it will reproduce the same things because it knows I don't like it, and try to get me out of it. Give me that fear, give me that worry, give me that anxiety. So when it comes to that, my body kept my blushing and my social phobia and self-consciousness and shyness as a form of protection. So let's come up with another example. I work with lots of people when it comes to fears and phobias. I was on TV about 6 years ago in England, and I let go of fears and phobias in 10 minutes in each and every one of them, like snake, dog, rat, spider, and there probably was another one, but they all went in 10 minutes. And many of these people could not let go of their fear or phobia at a conscious level. In the same way that if you've got an issue, if you could let it go consciously, you would. But if you cannot, it must mean your unconscious mind is running the behavior or issue. Now, why would we run at an unconscious level a fear or phobia? Well, once again, it's a protection mechanism. For whatever reason, that person, their unconscious mind, thinks whatever it is, dog, snake, rat, whatever it is. I've even worked with people with fears or phobias of tin foil or buttons. Now, they know logically that buttons aren't going to hurt them. However, their system, their unconscious mind, thinks it must protect them, no matter what it is. Fear of heights, fear of flying, public speaking, all those things. And it'll keep on producing the same results of protection when it comes to overwhelming fear and worries and doubts, all of those symptoms to try to protect us. So that's another example. So protection is usually the key thing here. And let's go for another example. For those, and I'm sure there's many out there, because from time to time we have this, and I think in our society we have it a lot, because of media, social pressures, and all these things, the fear of not being good enough or worthy. So it could be good enough for a relationship, good enough for a job, good enough for anything. Now, what's the intention behind, or why would our body keep that fear or worry or doubt of not being good enough or worthy? Well, let's put it this way. If that unconscious mind didn't have that, we could go for what we want and fail. We might look silly, we might look stupid, we might have that kind of doubt in our mind. So it's better to not believe we're good enough, therefore we'll stay in our comfort zone. We'll stay in the same situation. It's better to be safe here, rather go for that dream job, go up to that person, ask them out for a date, because we don't feel we're worthy or good enough. So once again, the behavior of the fear, the behavior of a social anxiety, you fill in the blank, whatever issue it is, or even what I just said, the belief of not being good enough or worthy, the behavior is horrible. We don't like it. We hate it. It makes us really feel bad inside. It stops us and limits us. However, the intention behind that behavior, so not the behavior, but the intent, is actually positive. It's trying to protect us. So your system, no matter what issue, I believe, there's my belief, I speak my mind, whatever the behavior or issue that we have, the conflict we have, your unconscious mind is running it for the best of intentions, although the behavior might not be very good. So the behavior bad, intention is good. And usually we've got to think about it. When these issues come into play, we could have been young, we could have been totally under stress, and we can never consciously make a great decision when it comes to our life if we're completely under stress, or if we were just 7 years old or 6 years old or 14 years old, we did not have all the knowledge and wisdom as an adult or in a resourceful state. So our system made the best decision it possibly ever could in that moment. Unfortunately, as we go through life, and our unconscious mind, if you remember my key word earlier, was it will bring up the same response which is similar to the past. So every future event which is similar, for me was public speaking, for others if it was a fear or phobia of dogs, for every dog they see, the body will remember and reactivate that protection mechanism. So that is the reason as to why there is value to keeping your issue, okay? There's a positive intention there. So then it's almost like saying that our body is running the behavioral issue because it's thinking it's doing a good job. Now, we know consciously it's not, but it's not going to move from its position of keeping that, it's not going to move from a different behavior. It's not going to move from when it comes to changing its behavior or however you want to be, because it thinks it's doing a good thing and it thinks what it's doing right now is good. I mean, when you think about it, a fear or phobia, to a certain level, there is protection. If you don't believe you're good enough or worthy, not going for what you want, to a certain point, there's a level of protection. And every other example I've said, there's a certain point as to why we would keep that. Okay, there's a level of intent there. So it's going to keep on running, doing the same old thing until we can update the system, okay? Your unconscious mind is here to protect you. It runs a fight and flight response. It runs a healing of the body. It does the habits, the walking, the talking, the driving, all those things. And firstly, it does those things to help us, to make it easier for us, and to also protect us. So we've got two levels here, okay? So the first level is that it's running the issue for the positive intention of protection of some sort. And then the second one is, if you do it over and over again, your body will take it on as a habit because it thinks you've been doing it for so long, that's the way I'm going to be. So it thinks it's doing a good thing, and what we have to do is update the system. So how do we do that? Well, we have to reconnect with ourselves. Now, if you've been listening to any of my hypnosis stuff or my 6-week audio programs I do, like my confidence, my anxiety, my happiness unleashed, my Be Your Potential video course, or any of my podcasts or audio, the intent here is to absolutely update your system as to protection. So what I'm saying, every hypnosis I'm saying, I want you, the unconscious mind, to learn what you need to learn to be truly safe without the issue. Keep the intent of safety, but come up with a whole new way of being that allows you to be safe and really go for what you want. So that is exactly the way we do things. We need to re-educate your unconscious mind because, as I said, at the time of having an issue, we're usually under stress, or we could have been very young, or both. So we weren't in a resourceful state to make the best decision. We just made the best decision at that present moment of time in our present experience. So, or the past experience, but in that time it was present. So then what we have to do is give it an alternative that allows you to be safe and protected and get exactly what you want, okay? So what I do is I recommend listening to hypnosis because I'm working directly to your unconscious mind. But here's the takeaway here. If you want to change, you have to get back into rapport with your own mind and body. Because when you think about it, if you have a fear or phobia or belief of not being worthy or good enough, or anxiety or social phobia, all those things, you start to hate yourself for having that issue. Now, if you start to have this absolute dislike, which is warranted to a point because you dislike it, but if you keep that feeling of anger or hate toward ourselves, that's where it's going ultimately, or is even going to our unconscious mind. We're separating ourselves from our system. It's almost like you're driving a wedge by hating on yourself or the behavior. Because as I said, your body thinks it's doing a good thing. So when we experience hate there toward it, it feels really bad and you feel really even more disconnected. So rather than the hate, we've got to go back on the inside and get rapport with our system. We need to get rapport with our unconscious mind. It's almost like, in a metaphor for you, you come home from work and you've got a child and that child's drawn you this most beautiful painting. Then you think, oh, that painting would be absolutely amazing if it just didn't happen to be on my brand new painted walls. You know what I mean? Great intention. It's great that your child would have drawn you or painted a picture. It would have just been better if it wasn't on the walls, and it would have been better if it was on a, sorry, I had a mosquito, I think. It would have been a lot better if it was actually on a piece of paper. So the intention of that child was good. The behavior of painting on the walls, not so good. Now, we wouldn't hate upon that child. We would educate that child. We would speak to it in love and explain the differences as to what's right, keeping the intention there. I love the painting. However, it's important to actually put it on this piece of paper here. So what we're really doing is we're educating that child. Now think of your system as a child. I'm not necessarily saying inner child or anything like that. I'm just saying that your system is trying to do something which is positive for you, and it's not going to change if you keep hating upon it. And it's not going to change if it's still carrying out a level of protection of some sort. So what we have to do is get back on the inside and connect with ourselves and educate ourselves by closing your eyes and speaking to yourself, going, I really appreciate what you're trying to do here, unconscious mind of mine, but I want you to act and react in this way while still being safe. So you begin to either visualize how you want to be different. You listen to hypnosis, you educate yourself, you go on courses, you invest in yourself, whatever it is. The key is that you begin to go on the inside and resolve the conflict by getting back into rapport with your system and therefore educating it back into true safety. Okay, so what we've covered today is that there's always a positive intention and value to keep an issue. It will keep any issue for the intent of usually protection or safety. Our unconscious mind is here to protect us and keep us safe. So it's going to keep on doing it, and we also must realize that it was created when we were under stress most probably, or very young, and it tried to make the best decision that it possibly could. Now, knowing that, we then have to give it a new strategy, a new way that it can actually be a more effective solution for you, a great new way of acting and reacting. So you go on the inside, rather hating yourself and driving a further wedge, we begin to appreciate our unconscious mind's intention for doing it, but ask it to do another behavior, and you guide it, you visualize, you tell it how you want to act and react. Okay? So that's what I've got to say when it comes to the value of keeping your issue. Your unconscious mind will carry on keeping it unless we provide it a new update. Think about it. Your computer, if you're running a system old, and you never update it, it's not going to get better. It's not going to be protected from other viruses and things like that. So what we're doing here is we're updating the system of your mind so it can be safer and protected. But you have to do that. It's not going to magically do it by itself. You have to make that decision, whether it be working yourself in your own time, whether it be paying for it, whether it be reading, learning, listening, whatever it may be. You've got to go ahead and do that update yourself or get help to having that update. That's the real key here. All behaviors, all issues, I believe, have a positive intent. We just have to re-educate it into a new, safer way and get back into rapport with your system. So there we go, guys. That is the value as to why you may be keeping your issue, okay? But there is that solution. So I hope you had fun with that. I'm going to just have a quick look at the questions. Thank you for all the kind words. Thank you, Jordan, for saying, watch out behind you. That's actually pretty good that you guys have got my back because there are coyotes in the area. So me and little Sebastian have to be protected out here. So don't joke about it, though. Please say the things if it should happen behind me. Okay, so we've got some... you're just saying really nice things. Okay, so Kate, how to stop it? I would really just do exactly what I said. I know I probably answered that question just before you... Sorry, after you said that, so I think we're good on that one. If not, go ahead and re-listen if you didn't get that. Thanks, guys. Wonderful words. Yeah, I'm just getting thank yous, so, well, that's pretty cool. Not many questions here tonight, right? Okay, so that's any questions on that or any other questions on anything else before I head in? So I'll just wait a couple of seconds and then I will see if there's any questions. Okay, let's see. Hi, Joseph. This is from Mark. I have a social anxiety, shyness, blush, and self-consciousness problem. So did I when I was young. So I'm there with you. What would be the core belief I have about myself, and which hypnosis audio be best to let go of these issues? Okay, that's a really good point. So what I do is I think of all the symptoms of the issue. So you go, okay, as I think of a social anxiety, shyness, blushing, and self-consciousness, what belief do I have about myself? And then you'll probably come up with a belief or focus on or the intention, and then you should come up with the answer. Now, if I was going to be honest with you, I would say to go on my 6-week audio course in either the anxiety or the confidence one. However, I do have some hypnosis titles for probably that belief system or the confidence or let's put it this way. If there will be a limiting belief there, Mark, and I think I know what it is, but it's important for you to find the answer. So I would go, what belief do I have about myself which has all the social anxiety, shyness, blushing, and self-consciousness? When I think about those symptoms, what belief do I have about myself? When you have that belief, that limiting belief, you will then be able to find the right hypnosis audio, or let me know and I'll be able to do this. Leave a comment or reply to your comment. So Kamiko says, so hypnosis is only working on the subconscious. Well, no, it's not really. Well, it is, but it's working also on the conscious mind. I mean, this is all about getting you back in sync with each other, getting back into rapport, so you don't need me, although it's always good to get motivation and drive, but the whole idea is behind hypnosis is reconnecting with yourself. So yes, we're working directly with the unconscious mind, but every word that I say on mine, I am always speaking to you as well. I want to get 100% of you. But yes, hypnosis has a profound effect on working on the subconscious. Great, thank you for the feedback. I've got a phobia of driving, Peter. Okay, so Peter, I've got a hypnosis track for that, and also on video, I've got a great YouTube video. Just type in how to overcome your driving fear or phobia, and it will hopefully come up on Google straight away. If not, just go onto my Facebook page. Also, Jennifer, same for you as well then. Thank you for the kind words. Is it beneficial to keep listening to the same one over and over again? It's as beneficial as you keep on seeing the results. That's what I would say. Yes, I would say that keep on listening to things and immersing yourself because it always helps. But my whole goal is that ideally when you get to the point, and this goes back to the subject, if we give your system the safest way and new strategy, it no longer has to have the old issue, so therefore you don't have to keep on listening to it. You can use it as a top-up, but ultimately the key, or my goal for you, is to get you so safe and so resourceful that you don't need the hypnosis. So I hope that helps. Okay, great. Lots of people saying about driving fear. Okay, so Peter, I would definitely go on to focusing, as I said, on this one about getting a safer way of being. It's really important as well to dissociate yourself, especially driving fears. Usually we're very associated. So when we think of driving, when we think of that situation, we're very associated. We're looking for our own eyes. Train up your mind to see yourself driving as if you're watching a movie screen. That will take out the emotion, and also it will give you a better perspective of what's around you. So therefore, you're not closed in. At an unconscious level, I promise you, if you do that consistently, and you ask yourself, what do I need to learn from this? How can I be safer and get that rapport? I honestly believe the fear or phobia will have to go, because we're training up the mind to be dissociated and safer. So I really think, okay, so you're also saying here, mind is screaming not to go on the road and anxiety builds up. So there we go. So it's a protection mechanism. So dissociate, and I'm just trying to think of a free one I've got, because I've got some great paid ones. Like I said, the anxiety course would completely let go of that, but I'm not here to sell, I'm here to help right now. I would just keep on asking yourself, for what purpose is it having that anxiety and try to get you off the road? And you'll probably say protection. I mean, keep on going, well, for what purpose? Fat, protection, what that gave you, what that gave. If you keep on going up and up and up, you'll actually get your unconscious mind to reevaluate itself, because the highest thing it wants for you is actually something far more than protection, and it'll be in conflict with the fear of phobia. So it sounds a bit confusing, but just keep on doing exactly what I said, dissociating, and this process about getting a safer way of being, and that will help. Aaron says, I guess how quickly the results come depends on how deep the issue is. It can be, Aaron, but sometimes I've had people really close to the edge, and within 10 minutes the problem's disappeared because it's been so important to them, and it's like the unconscious mind screaming for help. So it can be, the deeper it is, sometimes we need to rewire it more, but sometimes, I promise you, it can happen pretty quickly as well. And I think to be open-minded about it. So I wouldn't lock us down into just thinking the deeper the issue is, the longer it takes, because I have worked with people and it can go really, really quickly. Okay, let's see. Okay. Listening awake or falling asleep when it comes to hypnosis. Which one is more effective? That is a great one. Some people will listen to it as they go to sleep, and that's absolutely fine, because I like that one, because you're listening to it as you go to sleep, and then you're going into the dream world, which is a very unconscious place, because you're not consciously aware when you're asleep unless you are dreaming. But your unconscious mind will probably take on those learnings with you into the dream state or the sleep state. And that's probably something that I'd like. I do like the idea of hypnosis in the morning as well, because it sets up your day for the rest of the day. But I think either one is fine. It's really a personal preference. Although I do like the one as you go to sleep. But that's my preference. Okay. Okay, so Elizabeth is saying something to Peter, so that's great advice. And Peter said thank you to Elizabeth, that's great. So, I'm surprised to see as many people have a driving phobia. I doubt myself a lot. I just get super nervous when I drive a car. I have negative thoughts. Yeah, I would definitely look at the hypnosis and also my anxiety course and the free driving fear phobia one, because that's got some great techniques in it. I've also got a free anxiety course as well. If you go to josephclough.info/anxiety freedom, there's a 4-part free video series, and that will probably lead up to the 6-week course, but there's some great value there. Well, guys, we're at 30 minutes again. Awesome. I'm going to leave it here. It's nice actually. I'm doing these for about 30 minutes at a time, so hopefully it gives enough people time to ask, or me to give some content and then answer some questions. So thank you ever so much. I haven't seen the free driving one. Jennifer, there's a free video on YouTube about it. It's not a free hypnosis one or anything like that. I do not have everything for free. Like my 6-week course, that is quite a big investment because it's guaranteed to let go of your anxiety and your worry and fears about things. So I would definitely, I've got to price things, and I do as much for free there, but there's definitely the free video on YouTube, and there's a 4-part free anxiety course, which is, as I said, josephclough.info/anxiety-freedom. And there's a driving one when it comes to the Hypnosis app, and I think that's around $2.99, which is great. Elizabeth said, would you mind, JC, if we started a group for users so we can discuss things? I mean, yeah, people can start whatever group they like. That's, yeah, sure, do whatever you like on that one. Yeah, that's absolutely fine for people to start up a group. I won't be able to facilitate it because I facilitate my own groups, as in like people I work with as clients, and this Facebook page is pretty big for me to do as it is. How much is a 6-week audio course, or a 6-week course? I'm trying to think now. I usually charge it at, what is the price? That's a great one. And it's guaranteed to let go of the anxiety. It is $199 is the usual price, but I do a special offer occasion, which I think is at the moment for only $397, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, that is something that I do. Are you coming to Australia soon? One day, definitely, but not soon. I am incredibly busy with my work right now. Great. So that's pretty much it. I think I've answered all the questions right now. Yeah, so I hope that was of value to you. And when it comes, like I said, to setting up a group, people can set up their own group. It's just something I can't do because of my time. But anyone's welcome to do whatever they like. Okay, so always know that you're worthy, profound, good enough, and capable to achieve all you want. You just have to get the learnings. You have to go on the inside, get the rapport, and I promise you, you can make changes. I had the low self-esteem, anxiety, worry, doubts, and all those things, and they went away because that's something we work on. It's a process, it's a journey, and you just got to learn and grow. Okay, so have a great evening, guys, and I will speak to you soon. Okay, goodbye from me and little Sebastian. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, cheers, bye-bye.